Hello and welcome to this edition of Shelby This Week. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you. Emergency sirens throughout the township have been replaced, and you may notice they look quite different now. We will tell you why it was necessary this piece of equipment underwent a change. It has become a tradition for Shelby Township to give back during the holiday season, and this year they brought in over 2,000 items to Samaritan House. We have these stories and more coming up on Shelby This Week. The emergency sirens around Shelby Township might have a different look to you. The 30-year system recently underwent an upgrade. Stacy Santatera has more on the improvements made.
We run into some mechanical issues here and there, and the system was getting older.
There are 13 emergency sirens throughout Shelby Township. These outdoor warning sirens are a proven tool to let residents know when there is a weather emergency. All outdoor sirens are locally owned by the township, and 2020 marks a much-needed upgrade.
You may notice that the sirens, if you were used to seeing the cones and the gray siren heads, what you'll notice now is a cone type of siren, and it's going to be white, and it's going to have several cones going up about 10 feet from the top of the pole. They were on 50-foot poles, but through discussions with the chief and finding out that the Department of Public Works wanted to install their data collection equipment, what we realized was they were going to have to purchase 65-foot poles to put their just some small pieces of equipment on.
Well, it just happened to be we were sitting down with the fire chief discussing the whole project on the fire side, and at the same time we were getting ready to put up a direct fixed network system to collect meter reads. So I sat there thinking, why do we want to duplicate our efforts, put two poles up where we can actually piggyback on the fire poles and achieve the same means at much less cost?
So in realizing that the DPW is going to have to purchase larger poles for some smaller pieces of equipment, and we needed to upgrade our equipment, we started discussions to find out if our equipment and their equipment was compatible enough to go on the same pole. It would eliminate one piece of equipment that would be on the roadway as a potential hazard. We've already got enough utility poles throughout the township, so if we can cut that down some by just combining the equipment to one pole for both sets of equipment, it would not only save a little bit of money, it would also save some of the traffic hazards as far as the amount of poles on the side of the road.
This collaboration of efforts saved the township probably about $50,000. So it was a win-win for the fire department, a win-win for the township DPW, and I think it's good for the residents of the township.
And with this upgrade, residents will no longer see meter readers on their property.
The radio transmitters that we put on last winter and over the summertime will transmit the reads to the fixed network data collectors. And so for the most part, you won't see any more meter readers. It'll also allow us to have pretty much instantaneous reads. So if you need a final read for if you're moving in or out of your home, we can pretty much get that in the same day without having to send a staffer out there to do it.
Along with the advancement with the DPW's technology, their tornado sirens have come a long way as well.
These omnidirectional heads will actually send the sound out. It sends it out in an umbrella effect. So the sirens that we had, the older ones, would send it out in only one direction as the head rotated, and it would only send it out to a certain point. These omnidirectional sirens actually extend the distance that the sound can travel, and it travels that same distance all the way around all at once.
The Shelby Township Fire Department expects that this upgrade to the emergency siren system is expected to last 20 to 30 years. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Santatera.
The overall cost of this project came in at about $300,000. The money came out of the Emergency Management and Community Improvement Funds. Samaritan House, located in Washington Township, has been around since 1995. They have provided support for many people and families throughout northern Macomb County. And it's the support from the community, like Shelby Township, who help provide some of the more everyday essentials, which keeps this nonprofit organization going each and every day.
From personal products, hygiene products, people just don't realize that our clients really need those items. They can't buy them with food stamps and stuff that really isn't in our budget. Our budget is, focused mainly on food.
With people needing more than just food, Shelby Township employees and members of the community stepped in to lend a helping hand. And it has become a tradition for the township.
Every year this giving tree becomes larger, and we're able, as you can see, to give a lot of food. And the great thing about Samaritan House is they've got a wonderful, excellent distribution network, and they know how to focus. They get the right people to come in here, and that's why we're so confident in their ability to do that. It's hard finding someone with very low overhead, next to nothing, and yet they get the job done.
This year, Samaritan House received over 2,000 items from the collection drive. And in addition to all the donations, the employees provided something a little extra.
This check is for $793.
Wow! For the last few months, the clerk's office used the Samaritan House as this month and the last month's donations. So over the course of the 2.5 months, we were able to raise $793 just by our employees wearing blue jeans.
We can use that money to help somebody with a shutoff, with an eviction, a car repair, medication. It goes on and on. So the money, we make it go a long way. So we're very grateful for cash donations as well.
Samaritan House continues to be that support system for people who need the help.
So we help out with food, we can help out with car repairs, like I said, eviction notices, shutoffs. We have a back to school program, we have a summer food program, a Christmas program. So we're much more than just a food pantry. I would encourage anyone that is out there that doesn't know exactly what we do to come see us. Our hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 to 6, Fridays from 10 to 4. We're supported by 17 sponsoring churches, local businesses, organizations, and just the community. So again, we couldn't do it without the support of them.
Samaritan House is always accepting donations. They also have opportunities for the community to volunteer and get involved. For more information, you can contact 586-336-9956. The United States Census happens once a decade, and since this year it will be taking place, the Better Business Bureau wants to warn people to be alert and not fall victim to census scammers. In a news release, the agency says this year's census takers will be going door to door to retrieve information, and the BBB is anticipating scammers may be out in full force in an attempt to take advantage of those responding to the census. There are 3 main ways to respond to the data census, and that is by phone, mail, or online. However, if people do not respond, there will be census takers walking the neighborhood to make sure you are counted. To avoid getting scammed, here are some tips. Never give out your Social Security number, your credit card number, or bank account number. Census takers will never call on behalf of a political party. The official website for the census is census.gov. If someone comes to your door and you want to verify they're working for the census, you can ask to see their badge, and they will carry a Census Bureau laptop or cell phone with a logo on it. If you have any questions, call your local Census Bureau representative at 1-800-923-8282. Still ahead on Shelby this week, it's the first show of the new year at Meadowbrook Theater, and they are bringing this 1940s classic to life. We get an inside look at their current show. Thinking about starting a garden at your school? There's a program you can apply for to help fund the project. And meet this cat, Nam Van, who is available right now for adoption at the Humane Society of Macomb. Stay with us for more Shelby This Week.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table.
I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
An overall theme of this play at Meadowbrook Theater is all about relationships. Blythe Spirit even brings back a very spirited character. Kyle Warzebach takes us behind the scenes of the show.
Are you a ghost?
I suppose I must be. It's all very confusing.
Meadowbrook Theater's first production of 2020 is a classic comedy from 1941, Blythe Spirit.
So Blythe Spirit is Noel Coward's very funny, I always say it's a spirited comedy. It's a very hilarious comedy about relationships.
Charles Condamine is an author and he's looking to get some research for a book that he's writing. And he invites a spiritualist over and they inadvertently bring back the ghost of his ex-wife, which causes all kinds of hilarity and hijinks and craziness.
The actors say that the quick pace and witty humor of the play will keep audiences engaged and laughing throughout the show.
Yes, darling, I see her distinctly. Oh, under the piano with a zebra.
Oh, but Ruth.
There's some very talented comic actors in this cast that nail timing to a T every time. I think there's some great jokes and some really terrific witty writing.
I've always been a big fan of British comedies. I've always been a fan of that ever since I was a kid, you know. And so being able to play somebody who's so fussy and so uptight and so British, it's just been really, really fun. It's a lot of fun to play.
With the play being set in the 1930s, a special set of costumes were designed to keep it as accurate as possible to the time period.
There are 17 costumes in the show, and we made all of the women's clothing. So all of what you see on stage for the women was built by hand. This particular production, with it being Noel Coward, is something that I really enjoy as a designer because we're dealing with very sophisticated and glamorous people. And so I get to have a lot of fun with what they're wearing because these are people who have a lot of money and they have a lot of outfits that they wear. And if, for instance, they wear different garments for different times of the day.
Blythe Spirit runs until February 2nd at Meadowbrook Theater in Rochester. For tickets, call 248-377-3300 or go to Ticketmaster.com. For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzebach.
If you are looking for some fun things to keep yourself occupied during the winter months, the Shelby Township Library is the place to be. And one of their upcoming events will take you through the life of Bob Seger. Author Edward Sarkis Balian will present his book, Turn the Page, The Bob Seger Story. He will be at the library on February 5th at 7 p.m. The book debuted on July 8th and talks about Seger's early days in touring career, along with inside stories, and recalls interviews chronicling Seger's composing, change band personnel, recording sessions, and personal life. For more information on this event and other activities happening at the Shelby Township Library, visit ShelbyTWPLIB.org. Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne County schools can apply for a Southeast Michigan School Garden Mini Grants. Michigan State University Extension will award about 15 grants for schools or early care and education sites. Grant awards range from $500 to $1,500. Winners will also get training, technical assistance, and connection with a network of peers. This grant allows for the schools to create a garden and sustain the garden long after the grant money expires. All money will be awarded on March 30th and will end on March 29th, 2021. Applications are due by 5 p.m. on Monday, February 24th. For more information on the program, visit the website on your screen. And speaking of gardening, the Macomb MSU Extension is offering a Master Gardener Volunteer Program. It's a 14-week training and it provides an in-depth education in trees, shrubs, flowers, fruits, vegetables, and more. After completing 40 hours of volunteer community service, participants will receive their Master Gardener certification. Classes begin on Monday, March 2nd and run until June 15th. It runs from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the MSU Extension Office in Clinton Township. This training will cost $325 and will include a 1,000-page manual. To register, visit the link on your screen, or you can call the Extension Office at 586-469-6440. Registration closes on February 17th. This week, we introduce you to Nam Van, a cat who is available for adoption at the Humane Society of Macomb.
Nam Van is a female cat. She's about 1.5 years old. Super sweet, super playful, really good looking cat. Again, it's one of those where we're not sure how she hasn't gone home yet because she's just really cool. Kind of an interesting story. I'm happy to say it doesn't happen that often, but someone basically abandoned her here. They left her outside the front door in a carrier, and we found her, and thankfully she was in okay shape, but that's how she came to us. She would do good in a family with kids. Other cats are fine. She's not a huge fan of dogs. But other than that, she would do good with a younger family. She's pretty adaptable. Again, just no dogs. She's still very much a kitten, 1.5 years. That's still kitten territory. So playful, curious, loves toys, loves the laser pointer, stuff like that. So all around good cat. Well, it's just interesting that the way Nam Van came to us, someone for whatever reason didn't think that they could come through the door and let us know that they had to get rid of this cat for whatever reason. It's unfortunate because, we'll work with anybody. We've heard all sorts of different stories. People lose jobs, people move, people get sick. So, I would just encourage people, if you're having a tough time and for whatever reason you're not able to keep your dog or cat, just come talk to us and we'll do everything we can to work with you. But there's no need to do something like that, to, just leave the cat like that, because we want to help.
Coming up next on Shelby This Week, students at Utica High School spent Monday remembering Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. with a day of service. And it's time to register your child for the baseball season.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. But I need that back. No. Kevin!
Students in the Utica Community School District had Monday off in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. To honor and remember the life of Dr. King, some students chose to use the day off as a day of service.
You're giving back to the community. That's what this whole day is. It's not just a day off from work, it's to give back to the community.
While students throughout Utica Community Schools had the day off for Martin Luther King Day, students at Utica High School gave up their time off to give back.
Today we have our MLK Day of Service, where we do a ton of service projects to give back to the community, like we're making blankets for Project Linus, we're folding grocery bags for Gleaner's Food Drive, and writing letters to the troops and making paracords, stuff like that, stuff to give back to the community.
This is the third year that Utica High has held this day of service, and it was the warm response from the community that has helped this initiative grow.
Because our school is the only school out of the district that does this event, even though we're the smallest school, and they were just amazed that we have such a helpful student faculty.
But the meaning behind this day of service is Dr. King's inspiring message that is still resonating with the younger generation.
He said a quote that was, "Anyone can be great because anyone can serve."
Anyone can be helpful and do service to the community, and I truly believe that anyone can be helpful to the community.
For the last few years that I've been at Utica High, I've been helping out in activities and stuff, and when I was asked to help with MLK Day, I was always on board because I love helping and giving back.
I can't resist a good.
And for these friends, the feeling of coming together to impact the lives of others is just an added bonus.
It's actually a great feeling because not everyone like decides to do this, and the fact that like me along with my friends are like stepping up to like help out and everything, I think it's a good feeling and everyone should experience it and like help out because it's like it makes you feel as a better person.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Orzabach.
If you are interested in signing your child up for baseball, registration is now open to all Shelby Township and Utica residents. Registration for residents is open now until March 20th. Non-residents can start registering February 3rd, and there will be an additional $10 added per player if you do not reside in Shelby Township or Utica. To register your child, you can either do it online at webtrack.shelbytwp.org, in person at the Shelby Township Parks, Recreation, and Maintenance Building located at the Activities Center on 21 Mile Road, or you can call 586-731-0300. That's all we have for this edition of Shelby This Week. Remember, you can always watch us online or on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. We will leave you now with scenes from the Humane Society of Macomb, where our pet of the week, Nam Van, and so many other animals are in search of their forever home. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.
Good girl.